Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show in snowboarding that you care about. I'm sure there's others, but you don't care about them. I'm number one. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the top 5 lame marketing claims that new brands use to try to suck you in to buy their product. That's right, there's a new brand, and they're going to use one of these cliched, tried and tested and failed at this point, marketing spiels. That's right, it's all marketing bullshit, and we're gonna look right through it. Number 5, we can do it cheaper and better. That's why we're offering it at X price. Cheaper, yes. Better, no. What they're doing is they're actually just going on Alibaba Express or to a snowboard factory or to a manufacturer, looking at it what's called an open mold. That means that there's no R&D and they can just buy it and slap their name on it. Usually this is old stuff that's discarded from major brands that aren't using it anymore, or they've used it for X number of years and it's trickled down to being their beginner end stuff. I see this with snowboards. Like when I see a company reach out to me and they're like, well, we've got these boards and we're selling them for $250, $300 and they're just as good as a high-end one. And then I go and I look at the materials and I look at the shape and I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote that board for review like 10 years ago. And they're still using the same materials from 10 years ago. It's kind of like goggles. Cheaper? Yeah, you can do it cheaper. Doesn't mean you're doing it better. You have no R&D tech. You're just putting an injected molded lens into an open molded frame. That's it. You're not spending any actual time learning anything to perfect the product for the end consumer. Oh, we're doing it cheaper and better. Yeah, cheaper. That's about it. You pay for what you get. Number 4, we are engineers and snowboarders, and when we went riding, we saw that we could reinvent whatever product. I see this one all the time. Just so you understand, I don't have a problem with engineers and I don't have a problem with snowboarders, but what I have a problem with is engineers that are people that snowboard versus snowboarders that are engineers. Do you understand the distinction between that two? If you're a snowboarder that's an engineer, you have firsthand knowledge of how the product should work, and you have that mechanical aptitude to realize, hey, I can fix this for myself and other snowboarders. But if you're an engineer that snowboards, 9 times out of 10, you're looking at ways to make things more complicated because you're a person that snowboards. The 5 days a year that you ride, you had an issue with something that no one else did, but you thought you could reinvent the wheel. This is how we ended up with like suspension bindings and all these other bullshit bad ideas that I've seen over the years. I'm pretty sure this is how Gilson was created. So here's the thing, like I don't have a problem with new technology, but when I see someone being like, we're engineers and we went snowboarding on a trip and we realized that we had this problem, you're the only one that had that problem. 25 years of riding, I never had that problem. So I looked at it and I said, this could probably be done a little bit better, but I didn't want to reinvent the whole wheel, but these guys did for some reason. They're overeducated, and that's the problem. They have no practical hands-on experience. They have this education, and they've never taken it to a real-world thing. That's why I love guys that are former pro snowboarders or reps or whatever that learn SolidWorks, that go get a mechanical engineering degree and then go work for a company. They have done the work. They've ridden for years. They know what the needs are. But these guys are just stupid. It's like that clue binding. That is an over-engineered piece of shit. It's over-engineered to be a step-in binding. And if you look at it, it creates more problems than it's actually worth. Why do I say it creates more problems? Because I'm a snowboarder. I looked at it and was like, critical failure point, here, this is a bad idea, this is a bad idea. Burton did this actually first and got rid of the idea. But people want to argue with me about it. Our insert whatever technology will reinvent the snowboard. Oh yeah, it's going to reinvent the snowboard. Sure. Yeah, where are they now? I've seen companies try to do weird ass shit that just makes no sense in the last 25 years, where I look at it and I'm like, that is a dumb idea, but their friends didn't want to tell them it was a dumb idea, And well, if it was 25 years ago, the internet really wasn't telling them it was a dumb idea. Last 10 years have been really more hilarious for me calling out bad ideas. But they just think that they need to do it. It's like that Gilson bullshit. Dina Star did it back in the 70s for 1 year. Never did it again. Soft edge, elevated edge. You're taking the edge bite you need out of the equation. Like, your 3D shaping is horrible. That's why there's other companies that have done way better at it. The other thing is, all these new companies that are like, our technology is going to reinvent snowboard. They don't have the R&D budget, and they don't understand how to refine a product to bring it to market, so they rush through. I mean, there was a guy one time walking around at the trade show trying to tell me that his step-in was going to work, and it was a puck plate system, but you had to drill a hole through your boot, and then you would punch down on it, and it would work. And he's like, and if anything breaks, you can just go to Home Depot and replace it. And I'm like, you built it out of parts from Home Depot. Like, I don't trust that. Like, that's not a selling point. That's more like, I have to go to Home Depot to get parts? I break a ladder strap, I can go into a snowboard shop and get it. Break a buckle, snowboard shop. Boa cable, snowboard shop. Repair shop, tune shop. I can get those parts. I break a lace, I can buy new laces. I break that, I gotta go to a hardware store? You're on vacation, just what you wanna do is go find a hardware store. Number 2, buy snowboarders for snowboarders. I don't care if a snowboarder is working in the factory making my product. What I care about is having a factory worker that is a skilled factory worker working on my product. That's cool if they snowboard, that's awesome, but that shouldn't be the selling point. I want to be like, Jim over here has been with us for 25 years and he actually perfected the tool and die machine for making this. I want to hear that. Oh, he snowboards on the weekends too? That's cool. That's awesome. But I want skilled labor making my product. I don't want some stoner ass 18-year-old that couldn't get into trade school after he graduated high school going, well, I got a job at the snowboard factory. Yeah, I'm going to get free snowboards and get to snowboard all the time and smoke weed and do all this shit. I don't want that. You shouldn't want that. Much like, I don't need a car driver to build my car. I need a factory worker to build my car. Simple concept right here. Completely lost on people. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't make it on the list. It's a way for me to showcase my art. Wouldn't a canvas make more sense than you trying to sell a $500 snowboard with your art? Like, graphics are kind of friggin' pointless, let's be real with each other here. I don't care about graphics. I don't. The only graphic I've cared about in the last few years was my Telos Mic Ranquet, and the only reason I cared about it was because a bunch of old dudes were pulling it off the rack to look at it all the time when I'd go in to take a piss. So I covered the top sheet with a sticker so no one could see it, just vinyled the whole thing. That was the last time I cared about a top sheet. So your art, which I will say this, I don't understand art. Most of the time I just look at it and go, what the fuck is that? It means nothing. And putting it on a medium that only select people are gonna buy when you're trying to mass produce it seems dumb. Put it on a canvas, go be a starving artist, sell it at an art fair. I went snowboarding and my needs weren't met, so I created a whole new brand to meet my needs. That's cool that you realized that there was a gap somewhere for what you needed, but chances are you're still catalog branding whatever you're doing. Outerwear, goggles, gloves, bindings, boots, whatever. You're not creating something from the ground up. I have yet to meet anyone that's used this marketing that created something truthfully from the ground up that was so unique. And I was more like, every time I've seen it, I've just been like, cool, you know, this company, this company, this company, and this company have done that for years. And they're like, no, they haven't. And I'm like, yeah, they have. And then I take them the catalog and I show it to them, and then they argue with me. And I'm like, little simple research would prove that to you. We started a not-for-profit fundraiser, whatever, for some weird charity that no one's ever heard of. There are some legitimately awesome charities that have started from people I know in snowboarding that do give back, like Shred Foundation, Hoods to Woods, Save a Brain, just to name a few. Those are absolutely amazing. But for every one of those, there's about 100 that I'm like, what the hell is this charity? Like, why do I care to give my money to you? oh, it's the save the six-toed sloth that lives in my backyard. I don't care. Oh, my cat died of cancer, and these are Furball's boards. I didn't know Furball. Cat looks like an asshole, probably was. Why do I care about you giving money to a cat shelter so that they can have cat condos and the old ladies can knit them kitten mittens? I don't. It doesn't matter. Anyways, these were the honorable mentions, all great options, just barely didn't crack the top 5. And the number 1 lame, played out marketing spiel that new brands use on you is putting the fun back in snowboarding. Where the hell did it go? I've been doing this for 25 years. If it wasn't fun, I would stop. It's kind of like masturbation. It's fun too. Haven't stopped doing that either. Where did it go? And why are you the one to bring it back? You're putting the fun back in snowboarding? Why don't you put the FU back in snowboarding? What are you actually doing? Nothing. This fun didn't go anywhere. If you didn't find it fun and you're trying to put it back in, maybe you should look in a mirror and look at your sad life. You probably live in a cul-de-sac, you drive a minivan, you got 2.5 kids and a foo-foo dog that might be gay. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, it's got a problem with humping other big male dogs. I don't know, your wife probably doesn't like you either. Your friends at the office hate you too. I don't know where you were that the fun left snowboarding that you have to put it back in. And this is coming from a guy that literally rides every day of the winter for work. I made snowboarding a job and I still find it fun. I still enjoy sitting on a chairlift. I still enjoy nose pressing a board, riding with my friends, smashing pow on a pow day. What did you do? Where did it go? Why is it gone? Why do you think you're bringing it back? This just poses more questions. I don't get it. Who the fuck are you people? Like, huh? Where did it go? Where? Like, I don't get it. Alright, so this has been my top 5 lame marketing ploys that companies try to use on you when they're launching a new brand. Do you agree with this list, disagree with this list, or did I forget something for this list? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. If you're new here, remember to subscribe. Click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and well, some new brand might come along and try to take me out, but until then, you're stuck with me. And I'll see you in another video.